Let's talk about the movie and jump in. I feel like this is one of those Disney Channel DComs that everyone has seen, but no one ever talks about, which I don't understand because I feel like it's such a great movie. It came out around, I feel like around the same time as High School Musical 2? 1? 2? 2. Right? 1? It's a long time ago, so like I cannot remember what year the movie came out at. But I feel like this is such a beautiful movie. I love the message. Obviously, I feel like it's just funny because like Corbin plays the opposite of what he does in High School Musical. In High School Musical, he's all about like you have to stick to the status quo, and then in this movie, he goes against the status quo, which I think is like, I think it's pretty cool that he was able to do, the range. I just feel like this movie does not get the appreciation that it deserves. I feel like it's one of the best Disney Channel DComs in the history of all the DComs. Obviously, it's not a musical like some of the other ones are, but I feel like this is still such a really great movie. Not to mention, like, this is the movie of how I got introduced to the talented Miss Keke Palmer, because she was young. She was really young here. But, like, this is how we got introduced to her. And, like, Disney knew that she was going to be a star. As they should. Not to mention, the soundtrack is just immaculate. My Turn Now, Push It to the Limit, Where Do I Go From Here, Vertical, etc. Like, the songs on this album were just bop after bop after bop after bop. And we do not talk about the soundtrack enough from this movie. As well as the movie itself. I feel like the message is really nice, and I feel like it feels like a very, I don't say homey movie, but I really, really do love this movie. I feel like everything from the scripts to just everything about the movie, I really did love it. And I feel like, it was such a great early 2000s movie. And I feel like this movie should have gotten the hype that High School Musical got. Especially considering the fact that you have Corbin Bleu here. Why was this not getting the hype that it was getting? I don't get it. It should have. I know it wasn't a musical, but still, I feel like it still should have gotten the same hype. And speaking of the soundtrack, I feel like only anyone ever talks about Push to the Limit, and from time to time people talk about My Turn Now, but no one ever really talks about, like, the other songs, even though there's, like, bop after bop after bop on that soundtrack. Like, what about the flowers for Where Do I Go From Here? Vertical, it's on. Plus, obviously she ate up It's My Turn Now, as did he with Push It to the Limit. And, like, when I was 7, these two together, I know there's the weird age gap now, but when I was 7, these two everything to me. They were everything to me. I was eating up that shit. I was getting romance. I was getting a beautiful soundtrack. I was getting a really nice message and a really great movie. And I just feel like this movie does not get the hype that it deserves.